In this example, we're asked to write a class called student with the following UML specifications. We have this public class student to the right. It's in this package, test package, but don't worry about that. That's just Eclipse jargon. We're only going to be focusing on this class right here. That's the important part, public class student. So when we write this, first thing that we're going to want to do, let's go down the list. We're going to have a double grade. And this double grade is going to hold the current value of our student. Now, since it's only being accessed by our class student, we should make it private. If we make it private, only this method will be able to access it. However, if we look later, we're going to see we want to return the current grade. That's what we're going to use these methods for. These methods are going to access the private variables and then return them. So any other class can use this in here. So in here, we're going to have private. We're going to have double because our grade is going to be a double. And then we're going to have grade. We're not going to initialize it. And the reason why we don't initialize variables in classes is because we are going to have a constructor that does this for us. So we have our private double grade. This will hold the grade. We want to hold the name of the student, so we're going to have private string, and in here we're just going to say name, and this will hold the name of our student. Now it says default constructor. We want to set the grade to 0 and the name to essentially nothing. That's what the double quotes are. So to create our constructor, we are going to have a public class, and a public method. We already have our class here. We want to have a public method. And this method is going to be the same name as our class. So we're going to have public student, and inside of here, well, we're going to pass in two things. We want to pass in whatever we want a grade to be and whatever we want name to be. So in this method, because we are setting these and we're not having something passed in, we're going to leave this blank. We're not going to have anything for our parameters. And then we're just going to do grade is equal to 0. And this will set grade to 0. And then we're going to do name is equal to, and then we'll have these double quotes right here. So that is the constructor. Next, we want a regular constructor, and this sets the grade and name to an incoming parameter value. So we're going to be down here. We are going to have a second constructor, but we're going to name it the same thing. We're going to have public student, and then we are having these method parameters, and we can see that there's an error between these two, and it's the naming. They're the same. However, we can have the same name as long as we have different parameters. So in here, we are going to have a double grade because we are passing in a grade. We are going to also have string name because we're passing in a name. We want to set the grade and name to the incoming parameter variables. So this grade is going to equal this grade, and this name is going to equal this name. Well, there's some naming conflicts again, and the way we can overcome this is by using this. So we're going to use this dot, and we are going to say grade. So what this is doing is this dot grade is going to get this grade, not this grade. Whenever we have a this dot, it's going to get this up here. So we do this dot grade is equal to, and we want to set this equal to the grade that's being passed in. So we are just going to put grade. So the grade that we're storing in here is this, and we're going to do the same exact thing for the name. We're going to do this dot name, and this is equal to name. So this is our regular constructor. Now we need to have a getter for our grade. This will return our grade. So we're going to have a public. We are returning a string, so public string. And then our name of the method is get grade. We don't have any parameters, so we're just going to have this as our method. In here, we want to, actually, this shouldn't be a string. We're returning a double. We're returning this double, so we'll replace this string. And we're going to return grade. So this gets returned, and our method is complete. Now we want to have a setter for a grade, and this will set a grade to incoming parameter. We'll have public we're not returning anything, so it's going to be a void. We'll have set grade, and then inside of here, we're going to have double grade, and then inside of our code, we're going to do this dot grade is equal to grade, and this will set this upper grade to this incoming grade. Now, we also need a toString method, and this toString method is going to return the string object in this form. So let's write this out. We're going to do a public string because we are returning a string. We're calling it toString. We're not passing any methods in here, so we're just going to be in here. We'll do sysout, and then inside of here we will have name, and then have a space. We're going to have a plus because we want more to the string. We want to print out the name, so we're just going to call the name. We'll do plus to add more, and then we're going to have grade, so this should be grade, and then space, and then outside of here we're going to want the grade, so we will have grade like this. And also, this should not be a sysout. Instead of a sysout, we should just be returning this because it's returning a string. So this is going to print out the name and the grade. And that is all for this part of the code. There's more to this, and that can be found in the first playlist linked below the like button.